Hey everyone! I'm going to be doing another how to draw tutorial, and this one is going to be about how to draw a bunny with a flower crown. I decided we needed something that was a little bit more Easter themed since this week is Easter. So this is going to be a little bit more on the realistic side than my other drawings. Not totally realistic, it's still going to be very cartoony, but it will look a little bit different from what you're used to seeing from me. So I hope you all will enjoy this video and follow along with me, and hopefully we'll have some awesome bunnies by the end. So to start this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two eyes. Now these eyes are a little bit different shape than what I would normally do. I'm going to start with an oval that's going to be pretty straight up and down. So as you can see, this is not the normal like circle shape that I would usually do. It's kind of like the shape of a pumpkin seed. And then I'm going to do a little white spot, and then I'm going to shade it all in black. So that's all the same as it usually is. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bitty pointy right there. And that's just going to make this eye look a little bit more on the realistic side. Now I'm going to be doing another oval right next to that one. And I want to make sure that they're like in line across the top, just like that, and make sure that they're about the same size. I would say that's pretty close. They aren't going to be perfect, but that's all right. And now I have that eye, and then I'm going to do another little triangle right in there. There we go. So now I have two little bunny eyes, and you can tell they already look like tiny little bunny eyes. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give my bunny a little bit of like an eyelash right on the top of the eye on this side, and a little bit on the top of the eye on this side. Bunnies actually do have tiny little eyelashes if you ever look at them real close. So this is just to make it look a little bit more on the realistic side. But don't make them too long, because if you make them too long, it will look like a crazy little girl bunny. Although you may want that. Like that may be your idea for this drawing. So now that I have the two eyes of my bunny, I am going to draw the nose of my bunny. The nose I'm going to put down a little ways from the eyes. I don't want to go too far down because then the snout will be way too long. So I'm going to go just about right here. And I would say if I start right here, the distance from the top of the eye to the bottom of the eye is about the same distance down that I'm going here. And I'm just going to do this by making a V shape with a little opening in the center. It's not very big. And then I'm going to draw a little line down like this. And that's going to be where my little bunny's mouth is going to be. Then I'm just going to add, it's kind of like a hill or like a U shape above that nose. And I'll just close that shape. And that's going to be the bunny's nose right there. So I like that shape so far. Now what I need to do is I need to draw my bunny's, I'm not sure exactly what this is called. It's kind of like its snout. So to do this, I am going to come right beneath this little tear duct here. And I'm going to do a really, really big C shape that's just going to match up with that line here. And then I'm going to do another one on this side. Just like that. So you can see now my bunny has a nose, and now it has kind of this snout thing going on. And then I'm just going to give my bunny a little bitty chin, just like that. And that's how I'm going to start this off. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I want to give my bunny some cheeks. So the cheeks are going to come right next to the eye, and they're going to start about halfway down the eye, just like this. And they're just going to come right into that C shape that we made earlier. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So that's going to be the bunny's cheeks. And then what I'm going to do is I want to make a line up and another line up on this side. And that's just the sides of the bunny's face. Now you'll notice that I stopped right above the eye. The reason why I stopped is because I'm going to be doing a little bit of a flower crown on this bunny. So to do that, I want to make sure that I don't go too high up with these lines, because that's of where the flower crown has to start. And to start that little flower crown, I'm gonna come into the forehead right about here, and I'm gonna draw a circle. Now inside of the circle, I'm gonna draw another baby circle like that, and then I'm gonna draw a swirl. And you can see I just had that go right into the edge of that circle, and then I'm gonna add another little line right there, and maybe another little one right there, and then another little one right there. You may want to pause the video and go back over it just to watch how I made all of those petals, but that's the best way I've found to make a little rose just like that. And I'm just going to add one more petal right here, and then I like that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is draw a little leaf, just right there, and then I'll draw another little leaf right there. Now the next flower I'm going to draw is going to be right here. So I'm going to start with a little tiny circle like that, and then I'm just going to draw this flower just like you would usually draw a flower with all those little petals. And that looks good to me. And then I want to add another little leaf right there, and another leaf right there. Then I could add a big one right there. And that's going to be, well, I'll add one more right there. That's going to be my flowers that are right there. Now I think over here, I want to add a couple of flowers that are going to the side. To make the flowers going to the side, I'm going to make like a bowl shape, like a bowl on its side. And then I'm going to make a petal like that. I'll make another petal like that. One more like that. And at the bottom, I'm just going to make these like 3 little pointies. And that's going to make that tiny little flower that's hanging out off the side of this little guy's head. And then I'm going to make one more little flower right here that's just going to be that generic flower shape. And then I have to add a petal there, or a leaf, just to fill in the space. And I'll add another leaf right there, and maybe one more like right there. Then when you color it, you can make sure that you color like the flower right here pink, or whatever color you want to color it. And then you can color all of the leaves green, because right now they all kind of just look like a whole bunch of leaves rather than there being a flower right here. It will look a whole lot more dynamic once you color it, if you do choose to color it. You could also just leave it like this if you'd like. I'm going to make another rose right up here. And again, I'm going to make this circle, and then I'm going to make a swirl. And then off of the swirl, I'm going to have a few lines that just go to the edges of the swirl. So you can see those lines just go to the edges of each part of the swirl. Then it looks like petals of a rose. And there you have it. Now I have another rose in there. Then over here, I think I'm going to make a really big generic flower. So right above this eye, I'm going to make just like that. And I like that. And then I'm going to have a little leaf in there. Maybe another one right here. And maybe I'll have a really big leaf right here. And I'm just going to draw a line down everything that I know is a leaf. That'll make it easier for later if I decide to color this. And then I think I'm going to make one more little flower right here. So I'm going to make a little tiny rose, make my swirl. And guys, if you don't want to add the extra petals on the rose by doing these lines that come off of the swirly, you don't have to. You can also just leave them as swirls and they'll look just as much like a rose. And I'm going to add one more leaf there. And I think that's good. You can tell there's a lot of detail up here. So if you need to pause the video so that you can follow along with me, please do. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my bunny's ears. And I want to make sure that the bunny ears line up with the side of the face. So I want to kind of just like imagine that line would kind of keep going up. And then that's going to be where that bunny ear is going to start. And it's just a tall, kind of like a banana shape. And then I'm going to have another line like this. And that's going to be that ear. And if you want, you can add a little bitty poof inside of there just by adding a zigzag. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm coming up from that side of the face. I'm just imagining where that line would be. Coming up. like a banana. And then I'm gonna add that inside ear detail. And then I'm just gonna add my zigzag. And now I have two bunny ears. And you can tell it looks pretty complete up there. I'm gonna add one more leaf right there. So now my bunny has a flower crown, two ears, and a whole bunch of details in the face. And if you want, you can even add a little bit of fur details. So like I could add a little zigzag right there, and then it looks a little bit more furry. And then you can also add whiskers right here. If you would like whiskers for your bunny. You don't have to add those, but you can if you want. They look pretty good. I'm just gonna add a couple more details just to complete my bunny. So I'm gonna give this bunny a neck and some shoulders. And you can see I didn't come to like right here where these two lines meet. I went over a little bit from it. If I start from right here and I go down, it's gonna look like my bunny has a really, really thin neck, and I don't want that. So make sure that you start kind of in the, probably not quite the middle of this cheek area, but a little bit over from the middle. So the middle would be right here, and I'm just like right over from there. Then here's the middle of that cheek area, and I'm just gonna go right over from there. Just like that. And then I want to give my bunny a little bit of a chest floof because bunnies are fluffy. So I'm just going to make this zigzaggy line, just like that. And then I would have a line that comes down like that, and that's going to be the middle of my bunny's legs. And then I want to go ahead and draw the edge of the bunny's legs. So I have two zigzags, and then it's going to kind of come in like that. Then I'm going to have two zigzags, and it's going to come in like that. And then that's going to be how you draw your bunny. And then the last thing to do would be just to go ahead and add a tail. Now to add the tail, I'm going to come up on the shoulder right here, and this tail is going to be really, really big. So I'm going to come up at a point, add one more point, add one more point, and then it goes down. And then I'm going to add one more layer where I just follow the outside line of that tail that I made that zigzag, just like that. And that's how I would draw my little Easter bunny with a flower crown. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope we have made some adorable bunnies today. Happy Easter!